Has this ever happened to you? Or Die Hard? Then this video is for you. Here's my theory. All my positive habits surrounding diet, exercise, meditation and journaling, all of that good stuff is being totally f***ed up by my lack of self-discipline when it comes to going to sleep. But why is this? Why can't I go to bed at a good time in order to try and get between 7 and 9 hours sleep? I never get that much sleep. And why can't I just, not do the stuff that keeps me up late at night, knowing that it will sabotage me the next day? Yes, I'm guilty of the old revenge bedtime procrastination. And in this video, I'm gonna look at what the hell this is, why this is f***ing up your life, and what you can do about it to be less tired and get stuff done. Let's begin. Let's be fair, this lack of sleep is not something that has just crept up on me. It started at least 7 years ago with the arrival of my first bundle of cuteness and joy.
Mama, a baby.
Whilst babies give you that overdose of the love hormone, oxytocin, aka the cuddle drug, they take away your precious sleep and it's not ever coming back. I wear these tired eyes and bags under my drooping lids like a proud scar, showing the world I am an underslept parent. Revenge bedtime procrastination is not the sole preserve of tired parents, but from experience, they are often the ones who are most susceptible to it. The thinking behind it is that during the day, you are so preoccupied with being busy, probably with your job and then looking after other people, that you have no time to yourself to do the things that you actually want to do. So you deny yourself sleep in order to make time for those activities. Now that's fine, that's merely bedtime procrastination, but what's this revenge business? That's my revenge. Supposedly the revenge prefix comes from China, where they work ridiculously long hours. You take revenge on the daytime hours that kept you preoccupied, and you're choosing to take some time for yourself at night, even though you know it will make you feel worse the next day. Of course, this then feeds into a vicious loop of self-sabotage where you get less and less sleep whilst desperately trying to feel like you're in control of your life and choices. You can see why this affects parents in particular, where from experience, a typical bed routine for my two boys will take anywhere between 2 and 8 hours, but it can affect anyone who leads a busy life. Typically, the activities of revenge bedtime procrastinators tend to be something easy like scrolling on your phone or watching TV. We're not talking wholesome, positive habits here, my friend. Why this is f***ing up your life? Particularly since the start of the new year, I feel like I've implemented a lot of healthy habits. I'm walking at least 15,000 steps a day, started running again, got this weird core exerciser thing that I'm doing, I'm listening to an audiobook a week, and I'm eating cleanly most of the time. Most of the time. These are all things which have taken a lot of self-discipline to introduce into my life. And yet, it's all being undone with my inability to go to bed at a sensible time and not dick about doing unproductive stuff. It's not just me feeling like my lack of sleep is undoing all of this good work. There is actually scientific evidence to confirm this. When I first heard that
Roger Federer claims to sleep around about 12 hours.
My first thought was, he's got 4 kids. How the hell does he manage to do that? But then it's interesting that a lot of the world's top athletes are all aware that sleep is probably the best legal performance enhancing drug. LeBron James also sleeps for 12 hours, and Usain Bolt would sleep between 9.5 to 10 hours a night and take strategic naps during the day. I'd love to have a nap during the day. Novak Djokovic, everyone's favorite unvaccinated tennis player, said, "I treat sleep with as much respect as I treat food or my training schedule or my rivals. It's that important. He might respect sleep, but he certainly doesn't respect COVID restrictions." So I'm not a top sportsman, and I guess you could say I'm not performing at the very highest level, but I am training hard with one eye on completing a half marathon in 3 months' time. If you get less than 6 hours sleep a night, it's been proved that the time to physical exhaustion is dropped by 30%. Basically, I'm sabotaging my ability to train effectively. Research shows more sleep equals less hunger and reduced desire for salty and sugary foods. Despite my best intentions to eat clean and drink more water, by mid-afternoon it's a real battle not to give in to the salt and sweet cravings, and I'm fueling myself on caffeine. Coffee montage. Instant. In a study at Chicago Medical Center, people who slept for 8.5 hours a night compared to 5.5 hours burned 55% more body fat. Imagine that, burning fat just by sleeping. In other words, the benefits of dieting are completely undone by lack of sleep. Throw in the fact that lack of sleep makes you grumpy, less tolerant, more irritable, and stressed. I believe the clinical term is you become an arsehole. So what can you do about this? Firstly, I think you have to acknowledge that the root cause of a lot of your problems might be a lack of sleep. For me, I have a constant reminder from my Garmin watch that this is the case. I know this already, as it's written all over my face. My watch is trolling me, which conversely leads to more anxiety and less sleep. Ditch the technology monitoring your sleep. You should know in the morning if you feel well rested or not. Put your animals outside overnight and your children in a tent in the garden. If that's not possible and you've got a bit of money, check your offspring into a hotel. Failing that, just hope that none of these living beings that you love so much interfere with your precious need to sleep. Strictly speaking, you should banish all screens from the bedroom, including the TV. You don't have to smash it though, that's just mindless vandalism, and you're going to be the one who has to tidy it up. Removing my phone from the bedroom is something that I struggle with. There is a suggestion that you should get yourself an old school alarm clock so you can keep your phone outside the bedroom, but I can't testify to this because I've never done it. But what I do is keep my phone out of reach of where I sleep. Remember how you feel in the morning after a night of not enough sleep. A few weeks ago, I took this glamorous selfie of myself first thing in the morning. It's a beauty, isn't it? Red eyes, puffy face. I felt awful that morning. So now I use it as a reminder of what it feels like when I don't get enough sleep. You could go one step further and make this the home screen on your phone so you're constantly reminded of it. I'm not suggesting this is a good idea, and to be honest, I haven't thought that one through. Set an alarm to go off every night 30 minutes before you want to sleep. I confess I find this really annoying. If I want to be asleep by 10 PM, this means that the alarm goes off at 9:30. By this point, I'm lucky if my kids are asleep and I'm not tending to the never-ending washing cycle. But despite this, it is a very useful reminder that you should be thinking about the whole bedtime process. Read. This is kind of an acceptable trade-off for me. If I'm aware that I'm putting off going to sleep, I will allow myself to read. Reading makes you sleepy, it will ease your mind and make you forget about your other preoccupations. It's a far healthier habit than absorbing the blue light from screens, which, as we know, does nothing to help you sleep. I say all this like I'm an expert and I've got my sleep habits and routines down to a T, but I'm totally not, and I don't, which is exactly why I made this video. Vocalizing my struggles with this video, I guess, is like therapy, so thank you for being my therapist. Revenge bedtime procrastination is a very real thing, and it's the one area where my self-discipline is really lacking. So I'm going to try and heed my own advice here and spend the next 30 days really paying attention to the time I go to bed. I still can't get over the Roger Federer thing though. 12 hours sleep a day with 4 kids. For me, that is a greater accomplishment than any of his tennis feats. See ya.